Christmas music is in the air, Thanksgiving break is drawing near, and it's the last home football game of the year. Maybe. Notre Dame hurtling towards 8 straight wins and surging towards the college football playoff. But before we get to that, they got to get business done this weekend against Syracuse. This is Syracuse Notre Dame. This is the best student media coverage of Syracuse Notre Dame, and this is Shamrock Sports. Bit of Shamrock Sports, everybody. My name's Ryan Murphy alongside Paddy McGuiness and Tyler Reidy. So great to be with you here on this Football Friday, the last scheduled Football Friday this season. How you guys doing today?
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Fired up, busy weekend. Got a lot of action around other Irish sports too, and of course the big one, Senior Day, coming up tomorrow. Can't wait for it.
That's absolutely right. You'll be on the call for Notre Dame USC women's basketball tonight. Maiden voyage on the desk for you, Paddy. So we're so happy to have you with us. Notre Dame really been clicking so far through these last 8 games. You mentioned off the top, 8 straight wins for Notre Dame. What's been the most impressive part of the season, this win streak for you guys?
I mean, firstly, Murph, thank you very much for having me. I think the 8-game win streak has been very impressive, but what I'm looking at more is how they've been sharing the wealth on offense, which is huge. I mean, we take a look at last week against the ranked matchup against Pitt. I mean, we're not a one-man band. We've got a lot of variety on offense. I mean, we go look at Jay Love, who was 147 rushing yards and a touchdown. Not just a touchdown, it was a phenomenal touchdown, right? And then we go over to Malachi Fields, who had 99 yards, 7 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. And then, of course, our main man, the QB, CJ Carr, 212 passing yards. So yeah, that's what has really impressed me most about that 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about this season on a macro level, can we please remember how everybody was talking about this Irish defense 3 weeks into the year? It was for good reason. Defense was brutal against Miami, especially Texas A&M, even Purdue in that first half. It's not the Notre Dame football we've been accustomed to over the last several years, especially since Marcus Freeman has been here. But now this Irish defense is leading Notre Dame to victory. What a tone it set in that Pittsburgh win last week with a huge hit by Adon Schuler, the Tay Johnson pick 6, Adon Schuler's interception return for a 2-point score after Pitt's only touchdown against the top Irish defensive unit of the game. Notre Dame's defense has come a long way under Chris Ash. I love that moment we saw toward the end of that game in Pittsburgh where Don Schuler went straight to Chris Ash after a big play he made. There's very clearly a connection, a relationship, and understanding that has developed between all of those guys, and the Irish defense is clicking at the right time and leading the way, which is a complete opposite from what we saw early.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Both sides of the ball seem to be clicking for Notre Dame right now, but that defense, stark difference from the beginning of the year. They're facing a Syracuse team this weekend who's coming in. They're young, they're injured. What about this Orange team can Notre Dame exploit? Yeah, well, the big news is the new quarterback. Syracuse has had a lot of trouble passing the football this year. That started with the unfortunate injury to former Notre Dame quarterback Steve Angeli back in the middle of September. So now you're looking at a freshman quarterback, Joseph Filardi, making the start at Notre Dame Stadium this week. He's walking into a Bears cage. Notre Dame on Senior Day. The Irish always play really well on this day. They always play really well against the ACC. You take a look here at what Filardi did last week. He threw 3 passes on that final drive. 2 weeks ago, I should say, at Miami. Did result in a touchdown, but the game was well over at that point. This is a completely different animal for him. Notre Dame's going to want to get after him. Syracuse likes to establish the run game. Even with all of these blowouts it's endured as of late, losing 6 in a row. I think 5 of them might qualify as blowout losses. They just have not been able to pass the ball. So even when they're down big on the scoreboard, they're running it at least 30 times a game. So Notre Dame, as long as it takes away that element of Syracuse's game, can get after Filardi and win big. How about you, Paddy? What are you looking at this weekend?
Yeah, just touching off Tyler's point, I mean, you really got to target their freshman quarterback. But what I'm looking at is their secondary. I mean, they're ranked 118 out of 136 college football team on giving up yards, where they're averaging of giving up 434 yards. And this is where I'd expect Notre Dame to put the game to bed. I mean, like, it's the quick pace of play that Notre Dame can, kind of punish this Syracuse team, especially with the freshman quarterback. I think a quick start will be essential. and to ensure a dominant victory.
And one matchup I want to bring up, if you're talking about the Syracuse secondary, their top cornerback in terms of pass breakups on the air is a 17-year-old freshman, Demetrius Samuel. He's probably going to be in that boundary matchup with Malachi Fields, who just torched Pittsburgh for a couple of huge catches last week. So let's see what happens there. CJ Carr and Malachi Fields could be in for another big one.
And just to touch off that point, I mean, if you're CJ Carr, you were licking your lips looking at that secondary. I mean, you know, we saw last week against Pitt, you know, they were going deep. And yes, we did get punished here and there. But I think, again, no disrespect to Syracuse, I genuinely think if CJ Carr wants to take a few chances early on to put the game to bed, I think that's where we're going to win the game.
See if Notre Dame airs the ball out early against Syracuse. If Syracuse and Pitt are maybe in the rearview mirror, up ahead, maybe the college football playoff, we'll chat about Notre Dame's chances with that just after this break.
Hey Irish, if you want to hear the news from campus this week, watch some exciting segments, or learn about this coming weekend's campus events, make sure to tune in to ND Sunrise, which airs every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the NDTV YouTube channel.
Welcome back here to Shamrock Sports. Ryan Murphy, Paddy McGuiness, and Tyler Reidy here with you, previewing Notre Dame's matchup with Syracuse on Senior Day tomorrow. Irish only have 2 games left in the regular season this year, Syracuse and then on the road at Stanford after Thanksgiving. And then we're waiting around for the College Football Playoff Committee to make their decisions. Guys, right now, where do you kind of see Notre Dame shaping up in that college football playoff conversation?
I mean, I think they're definitely well in it. I mean, you look at that USC game, that win against USC could prove very valuable if they turn over Oregon away on the road. I mean, Oregon are 5-1 at home, but I'm usually an optimist, but let's call a spade here. I think Oregon will probably get the job done, but I mean, that will still leave us at ranked 9. I mean, if you were at A&M at the start of the season and we're 0-2, you know, would you have taken being a definite playoff spot and ranked 9th?
Probably.
Yeah, no doubt. And I sort of agree with you. I think this kind of core portion of the teams who are going to be in those first round matchups, you take out the teams that get the bye and you take just the interior of that 5 through 12 part of the rankings. I don't really see there being a whole lot of change. You know, the upsets that we could be looking at in these final 2 weeks, Michigan over Ohio State maybe, Alabama losing to Auburn in the final week in the Iron Bowl, those are all well out ahead or behind Notre Dame. So I don't think the Irish move a whole lot. And those 2 teams you're seeing right here, Oklahoma and Oregon, I think there's a pretty darn good chance Notre Dame ends up going to either of those 2 spots. We'll see what happens if Miami can take the ACC, if they sort of join that class. It was really weird how the committee kind of described Notre Dame and Miami's relationship as far as ranking them in these CFP polls. It's like Miami's head-to-head with Notre Dame doesn't matter unless Miami's in the same class as Notre Dame. So you have to ask yourself, at what point does that happen? Does the Hurricanes winning the ACC get them into that position? I don't know. Time's going to tell, but I really think that's probably the only thing that can move Notre Dame back. The upsets, I don't think, are really there with USC and Oregon for the Irish to climb into home field.
Yeah, all eyes will be on Miami and see how they finish the year for sure. Another piece of the national conversation around this Notre Dame football team is the Heisman Trophy conversation, and Jeremiah Love has been certainly making his case over the last month. What do you guys think of his chances to sort of sneak into that Heisman vote race? Yeah,
it's certainly there. You know, the quarterback class is not very much separated. You know, Fernando Mendoza's had some moments. Ty Simpson just took the big loss at home, and so it's certainly wide open. If he can have a big finish to the year, I know there's not going to be much of an opportunity for kind of a prime Heisman moment against a top team, but I'll tell you what's so impressive about what he's done this year. It's the fact that he's in that backfield with Jadarian Price. I mean, can we just appreciate knowing that for either one of them, this could be the final game this Saturday at Notre Dame Stadium, just how rare and unique this backfield is, that, you know, they could both score multiple touchdowns in a game. They can both have double-digit carries. And they don't care. They're just going to go out there for team glory. They're going to do what they can, and they're going to support one another. And it's so cool that, you know, if there's a game where Jadarian Price has the big highlight on a big kickoff return, or he scores 4 touchdowns, Jeremiah Love's running for 150 yards too. It's so amazing what those two can do, and how incredible it is that Jeremiah Love has had this season as part of this backfield.
Right. And just what is it like, Paddy, what does it mean for it feels like a long time since Notre Dame has had a Heisman contender here. What does that mean?
Yeah,
for the
just
school?
touching off, I mean, historically speaking, I mean, it would be significant for Jeremiah Love to get, obviously, the award, because it's every college football player's dream to win it. But I think it could be even more significant for the school of Notre Dame. I mean, the last time they had a Heisman winner was Tim Brown in 1987. And the last time they had a player in contention was Manti Te'o in 2012.
Right.
So, like, I think outside of Notre Dame, I don't think he doesn't get the respect he deserves. So, I mean, just going off the bookies, what they're saying, Fernando Mendoza of IU, obviously, has been nothing short of excellent this season. I mean, who's at minus 115, Julian Sayin of Ohio State plus 225, and then Marcel Reed of A&M plus 500. And then you go down the list. Have in mind, the first three are all quarterbacks. You go down the list to number 7, Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame at plus 4,000. I mean, that's where I think the disrespect is. I think this will indicate that he's probably out of that race, unfortunately.
Yeah, as we saw last year with Ashton Genty, who put up those video game numbers with Boise State. You know, it's a different level of competition there. That was still a playoff team, but it's just so hard to win it as a running back. It really is.
Yeah, well, we've certainly loved watching Jeremiah Love play at Notre Dame, and we'll see what he can do against Syracuse tomorrow. When we come back after this break, we'll talk to one of the guys that'll be calling the game with you on Saturday, Tyler. Michael Fishburne joins the show just after this break.
Welcome to the studio. I'm Avery White, station manager here at Notre Dame Television, and because we all work together, we get very close. But sometimes you might say a little too close.
Yeah, Trey, I like what you're doing right here. Yep. Oh, that looks really good. Yep. And then when you're down, it's all in the hips. Yep, it's all in the fire. Fire! Yeah, that's beautiful, dude. Dude, great.
Welcome back to Shamrock, everybody. My name's Ryan Murphy. We're joined by Michael Fishburne, who will be on the call tomorrow for WVFI Sports as the Irish take on the Syracuse Orange. And Michael, how you doing today?
Thank you, Murph. I'm absolutely pleased to be joining you here today. I'm looking forward to calling my first ever game with WVFI Radio. I'm excited. Being up there with Tyler Reidy and Leo Romano should be a great time.
Certainly excited to tune in tomorrow. Michael, you were also in Pittsburgh last week. What did you kind of take away from that dominant win for the Irish over the Pitt Panthers?
Of course, and you know, the first thing that comes to mind is that this is a complimentary football team for Notre Dame. There were moments on Saturday where CJ Carr, while he did lead the Fighting Irish to a 22-point win over the Pittsburgh Panthers on College game day, he threw for 2 interceptions. But what I'd like to highlight is what the Notre Dame defense did after those interceptions. One of which, in the second quarter, after Malachi Field's beautiful catch from the sky, CJ Carr threw a pick across the middle. But Notre Dame's defense immediately forced a 3-and-out and Pittsburgh Panthers to have a field goal. That field goal, Murph, was Pittsburgh's only 3 points of the contest until the last 4 seconds in the game for their offense. And then later on in the game, CJ Carr threw a pick 6. And right after that pick 6, Mason Heitschel and the Pittsburgh Panthers went for 2, didn't get it. An on-shoulder picked it off and took it all the way back. You know, Notre Dame's defense was playing complimentary ball. They're standing up when Notre Dame's offense needs them to. And complimentary football clubs, have a great shot at the national championship when they're playing as well as Notre Dame is.
Talked about complimentary football, but Notre Dame and any good football team needs their stars, and you hit on CJ Carr at the beginning of your answer, threw for over 200 yards. What did you like from Carr Saturday, and what do you sort of expect from him tomorrow against the Syracuse Orange?
Of course, while I did harp on his interceptions, what I liked is his deep ball. There are fewer quarterbacks in college football that I would trust more than CJ Carr to make a throw on the edge of the sideline, perfect in the position for the receiver to catch it. I would look for a lot more of that. Those vertical presses, those vertical shots. Guys like Malachi Fields against corners from Syracuse who won't be as athletic and as solid as those Pittsburgh corners even were. Look for guys like Malachi Fields to make those catches again. And honestly, look for Jordan Faison. He hasn't been in this contention for Notre Dame's offense a lot recently. He hasn't seen enough looks. Look for him to show his athleticism and show why him being a two-sport athlete is a great piece for this Notre Dame football team.
Yeah, and Fields, it's hard to remember a more impressive Notre Dame catch in recent memory than the couple that he had. Thanks so much, Michael. You'll be up there with Leo Romano and Tyler Reidy with the bird's eye view for Syracuse and Notre Dame. Have a great call.
Thank you, Murph. I'm excited.
All right, when we come back, Cian Bagenstose will join the program. We'll talk a little men's basketball.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, a week, a month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be
Welcome back to Shamrock Sports, everybody. Ryan Murphy joined by Cian Bagenstose, our men's basketball insider here today. Cian, how's your Friday going?
Very good. A lot of energy, especially after Sunday.
Yeah, Notre Dame's off to a 4-1 start on the parquet floor so far to start the year. Cian, what have you kind of seen from the Irish to start the season?
So this is going to be a little controversial, but I think we are a tournament potential team.
All right.
And that's really crazy because I know we've had a little bit of a rough start under Shrewsbury these past 2 years, but after the Ohio State game, I'm sold we have tournament potential because Ohio State, we lost them by 1 point, but they are not just some pushover. Ohio State is 5 spots out of that top 25, and there were times in that game, Murph, where we had complete control. We were up by 11 about midway through the first half, and then at the end of the first half, we were up by 8, and then restored that 8-point lead a little bit into the second half. So there were times in that game where we were completely in control against like a fringe top 25 team. So I think we definitely have tournament potential, but in terms of making that potential reality, you need execution. We have to learn how to finish the job, win those close games. That's been a struggle through Shrewsbury's entire tenure, and if he's going to get us over that hump, got to be able to win close.
It's very true. Only a 1-point loss at Ohio State, and it was a very, very winnable game, and then they didn't exactly bounce back in strong form, only the 7-point win over Bellarmine. Now they go to Vegas. They're going to have a couple challenging games against at least Kansas and Rutgers. Who's going to be really important for Notre Dame to kind of continue the success going through this upcoming stretch?
4 guys. Number 1, Marcus Byrne, our bona fide superstar. He was one of the best players in the ACC last year, and he has picked up right where he's left off. He's averaged about 20 points a game, and in 3 out of our 5 games, he's had 20-plus points, so he's going to be leading the charge. And then the sniper himself, Braden Shrewsbury, he has about a 60% three-point percentage, about top 10 in the country. So if we can get him behind the line, shooting a lot of threes, should be a lot of points. And then the rookie, the highly touted freshman, Jalen Harrelson, he is off to a very strong start, averaging about 12.5 points a game. And then finally, the rebound man, Carson Tout. Carson Tout last year was the nation's leading rebounder. This year, he is well on his way to defending that title, being 3rd in the country in rebounds per game. So if those 4 players show up, we should be able to beat Kansas and make a statement that we are coming for the dance.
You heard it here, folks. Cian Bagenstose, thanks so much for joining us, Cian, and looking forward to watching Carson Tout. I like him. We're going to take a quick break and be back with some Shambookie action. You're watching Shamrock Sports.
We're here at Alumni Stadium after a stunning result in South Bend. Number 1 seeded Notre Dame falls in the second round of the NCAA Women's Soccer Tournament to Ohio State. 1-0 the final. 110th minute goal by Jaden Bonham of the Buckeyes in the second overtime. Wins it for OSU. Stunning for Notre Dame. Can't imagine what those girls are feeling right now. College Cup expectations out in the second round.
It's heartbreak. You said College Cup expectations. I mean, national championship expectations, right? But the talent of this team, the sophomore class, Izzy Engel, Annabelle Chukwu, some of the best players in the country. But Leah Klinke, the senior, I mean, an all-ACC member. This is her last game in a Notre Dame uniform. It's just heartbreak for the Irish.
What went wrong for Notre Dame tonight? The Irish ultimately outshot Ohio State 36-8. So many opportunities. Both goalkeepers were terrific. Molly Pritchard for Ohio State with some big saves in the second half. Why couldn't Notre Dame push one through?
I'll tell you what, I do think the surface played a big factor tonight. It's a really slick grass right now. I mean, I'm on it, and I might even slip just talking to you, Tyler. But, yeah. I mean, the ball was moving at a much faster speed than typical, much faster than Notre Dame's used to playing on, right? And that plays a big factor into the actual game. But then also Ohio State dropped into a low block. I mean, they had 7, 8 players back inside their own 18. And then finally, Notre Dame just were uncreative at times. I mean, it was kind of the same thing. Chukwu, Engel running in behind. Neither of them really checking into the midfield, out wide. Yeah, they were able to get service into the box, but nothing super definitive besides one offsides goal for Notre Dame.
The lower seed won both games here today in South Bend. Baylor over Wisconsin in the 5-4, and Ohio State beating Notre Dame in double overtime. So it's Baylor against the Buckeyes on Sunday afternoon. And Notre Dame heading into the offseason in shocking fashion. For Chris Dailey, I'm Tyler Reidy reporting from Alumni Stadium.
Chris and Tyler, forgot to throw to you guys at the beginning there, but a great segment coming off that shocking loss last night.
You can throw to me now.
Yeah, I can throw to you now. We're back here. We're going to do some of our favorite picks this weekend. It's the best part of the show. Shambookie, Cian, what lines are you looking at around college football this weekend?
I'm going crazy and controversial. Once again, 2-8 Arkansas covers against number 17 Texas. It sounds crazy. I know Arkansas is 2-8, but they are like the best 2-8 team to graze God's green earth because they always keep it really close against these top-tier SEC teams. Against number 6, Ole Miss, only lost by 6. Number 20, Tennessee, only lost by 3. Number 3, Texas A&M, only lost by 3. They have a consistent ability to play really good against these top SEC teams, so I think they'll cover against Texas. And they're not going to win, but they'll shock the world, cover the spread, get your money.
I think Notre Dame fans would be pretty excited about that too, Cian. Another thing Notre Dame fans would be pretty excited about, it's going to be my pick. I've got USC at least to cover their 10.5-point underdogs. I don't know if they're going to pull off that upset. Our graphic says 9.5, so I guess that line has changed. But yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to pull off the upset, but man, it would really help the Irish if USC did them a little favor in the rivalry. So give me USC to at least cover in this one. Paddy.
Ryan, I'm going off the cuff here. I think after an emphatic week for Ireland football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, I'm taking Ireland to qualify for the World Cup at plus
Here we go. Hey!
plus 400,
Ireland.
plus 400, or back home for any Irish viewers, 4-1. So after a draw, we have Czech Republic away and potential home final against Denmark or North Macedonia. So I'm pretty confident. At 4-1, I think there's value for your money.
Easy money, plus 400.
Easy money.
Go Irish, beat Macedonia.
I think last week Notre Dame fans really saw the true colors of the Pitt Panthers. Pat Narduzzi's going out there talking all kinds of weird stuff about losing by 100, but our ACC games, we're going to show up. These are the ones that matter. Well, it's just a weird circumstance to put your team in when you say, oh, they could beat us by 100, and you still do get blown out. So I think Pitt is kind of going into tailspin mode right now with a young quarterback. They got a matchup on the road at Georgia Tech this week. The quarterback experience matchup really favors the Yellow Jackets here with Haynes King, who, remember last year when Georgia Tech was a 500 team, played his best football, and Georgia Tech played its best football down the stretch in November. Went to that 8 overtime game with Georgia or whatever it was and beat Syracuse. I should say Miami at home too, also beat NC State. Tech's always played well at Bobby Dodd Stadium. That's where this game is. So give me the Ramblin' Wreck to take down Pitt and cover that 2.5-point spread.
You just get the feeling that those Pat Narduzzi comments are going to follow him around.
Not good.
For a little bit.
Not good.
Yeah, not good at all. We're going to take a quick break. The last part of the show here, we're going to give some of our favorite ND football memories. 3 of us seniors, Paddy's headed back to Ireland at the end of this semester, so we're going to give our favorite memories and then predictions for the senior game tomorrow between Notre Dame and Syracuse. Stick with us.
Welcome back. The Irish are off to a white-hot start this season. Kira, what have you liked so far?
I think the offense has looked great so far. I think the defense can get a little bit better.
Wow.
I mean, if they find footing like this, we'll be in great shape for the midseason.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to the show, Molly O'Malley of the Irish dance team. Come on.
Welcome back to Shamrock Sports, everybody. Cian Bagenstose, Ryan Murphy, Paddy McGuiness, Tyler Reidy here with you from the second floor of Duncan Student Center. It's a tradition every year that the seniors and those going back home after the semester, like Paddy is, we give our favorite ND football memories that we've had over our time here at Notre Dame. So, Cian, let's start with you. What's your favorite Notre Dame football memory?
This was a bit of a down year, but I'm going ND Ohio State 2023. It was my first time ever seeing College Game Day, and then OSU and look at that cute guy. Sorry, that was high school. Yeah, you can see there me on TV. Looking handsome, a little slimmer now, always good.
There we go.
But yeah, that was College Game Day, first time, then obviously a clash of the Titans. Unfortunately, that classic did not go in our favor. Still a great time, getting on TV, seeing Game Day. Magical vibes leading up to that game.
I think the 3 of us that were there are probably still not over that. I know
it was surreal walking into the stadium, the environment.
It was absolutely one of the best sporting events I've ever been to. I'm going to go to a little bit of a different one. I've had so many Notre Dame football memories here. It's really hard to pick, and you're going to talk about one of my favorites, actually, so I had to do something different. I'm going back to USC at the end of last year. I was there on the call for WVFI with my friend Jacob Irons. You can see Jake and I at the Coliseum, and at the end of the game here, you're going to see the moment where Notre Dame, they all come over, do the alma mater at the end of the game, and you can hear it up from our spot on the 7th floor. And then a few weeks later, IU, magical atmosphere with the snow, the drum circle, you and I were there, Tyler, and then this was this year against NC State. I couldn't decide. The sunset was so beautiful. That was my last home game that I've called, at least to this point, for WVFI. So lots of great memories, but between USC, Indiana and NC State. Those are three of my favorites. It's hard to choose between.
And you can see the skyline, too.
I can see the
Very
skyline.
important.
The skyline was beautiful in Notre Dame Stadium, and it was beautiful in Los Angeles. How about you, Paddy?
I mean, to the blow-in or bandwagon or whatever you want to call me, I'm here for a semester, so I took it all in. But I may bring back maybe a bitter memory for everyone. But I'm going to the A&M game. I mean, I'm a big advocate for, you know, how soccer, football, whatever you want to call it, has the best atmosphere. But boy, at Notre Dame Stadium against A&M was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced. So I think as we lost that, you know, I'm keeping hope. We're still going to hopefully go to the playoffs. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite memory.
Another game where those vibes before the game were just very, very
electric.
high. Yeah.
Electric. So.
Well,
how about you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. My favorite kind of Notre Dame games to attend are when you're on the road and you just blow somebody's doors off. And that's what happened with us this year, going down to Arkansas. Woo Pig. That was a fun weekend. We went and saw John Party on Friday night. Great show. Went to Waffle House right after. Murph's first trip to Waffle House.
It's
incredible.
Yeah,
look at me with the syrup there. It's just a phenomenal experience. There we are in the field there. We got on the air against all odds at Razorback Stadium. Took Murph up this mountain here. It was one of the worst experiences of his life. And then we saw NDTV alum Jimmy Collins there. Go Hogs, baby. And Murph with the cannon. Me with the cannon, too. I like the Murph picture better as we went to the Civil War battlefield there. So loaded weekend there. Probably my favorite memory. We got a lot in there.
Yeah, that was an absolutely great trip. Absolutely great trip. So lots of good memories here. Let's hope there are good memories in store tomorrow for the Senior Day game. Cian, let's start with you. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
I'm going big win, 48-10, because these two teams are on completely different trajectories. Ever since A&M, ND's average margin of victory has been 26 points. And they're not playing pushovers either. They beat fringe top 25 team Navy by 39, fringe top 25 team Pitt by 22, number 15 USC by 10, and they've done a lot of good work. And obviously, on the other side, Syracuse, they're 3-7, 7-game losing streak, and these are not really good losses. That's not like Arkansas. They've lost to 5-5 Duke by 35 points. They lost to the vastly disappointing 4-6 Bill Belichick-led UNC by 17 points. So just two different trajectories. ND's rolling. Syracuse is collapsing. Should be an easy win, but as NIU and Marshall and Stanford in 2022 can attest, can never take a team too lightly. So gotta always keep our guard up.
Cian, you're telling it to him straight. That's right, telling it to him straight. I'm totally on board with you. I got the Irish 35-7. The score is, I'm just indifferent about it, really. 35-7 Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm going Irish as well. Likewise, Murph. I think it's going to be a pretty dominant victory. As I said earlier on the show, if we can target that secondary, I think Malachi Fields is going to have a field day. So 42-10 I think is a fair score. You know, Syracuse might get a glimpse of a touchdown, maybe a field goal at max. So I think if we can really take chances and we see CJ Carr going deep in the field, I think it should be a pretty freewheeling victory.
Not so fast, partner. Syracuse is not getting a glimpse of a touchdown tomorrow. I think Notre Dame's defense has its magnum opus, if you will, tomorrow to sort of cap off a phenomenal turnaround of a season. If Syracuse finds the end zone, I don't think it happens until the final 5 minutes of garbage time here. As long as Notre Dame can limit Syracuse's run game, the Orange offense has had to become so one-dimensional lately with the lack of a passing attack. If Notre Dame can limit the rushing attempts of Syracuse, keep them down, they've got some decent running backs, but as long as you shut that down and force the freshman quarterback Filardi to beat you, which I don't think he's going to be able to, and his first start on the road, Notre Dame wins big. 41-3 Irish on Senior Day.
There you go. You got all NDs across the bottom of the board. So feeling pretty confident we haven't jinxed them tomorrow. That's the end of our show. I just want to say this is our last football show of the regular season. So for all of us seniors, there's a special vibe that comes with doing this on a football Friday. You know, you wake up in the morning, campus is quiet, and by 2 or 3:30, you're rolling into the studio, and the place is buzzing. Yeah. And it's just such a great experience. It's such a privilege to be a very small part of that. So I think I speak for all of us up here when I say grateful to all our cast and crew that make this happen. Thanks to our advisors who put this on, and we'll be back after Thanksgiving break. Make sure whatever you do tomorrow, be responsible with those marshmallows.
Oh yeah!
And have a great Senior Day, everybody. I got more. Watch out. That's our show. Enjoy your Friday evening.
Oh, all righty.
Down in the valley, oh, the rattling bug down in the valley, where was the rattling bug down in the valley, rare branch, a rattling branch with a branch on the tree, and the tree in the hole in the bog down in the valley. Oh, 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 the rattling bog down in the valley. Oh, rare bog, the rattling bog down in the valley. Oh, now on that branch there was a limb, rare limb, a rattling limb and the branch and the branch and the tree and the tree in the hole in the bog down in the valley. Oh, 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 the rattling bog down in the valley. Oh, rare bog, the rattling bog down in the valley. Oh, now on that limb there was a nest, rare nest, a rattling nest, a nest in the limb and the limb and the branch and the branch and the tree and the tree in the hole in the bog down in the valley. Oh, 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 the rattling bog down in the